Hey, how are y'all doing? So I'm just finishing up. Oh my goodness. There we go. Hope you're doing well today. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been here. Um, what a week since I went live. And I was going to try to make it into Fiber Spiders live today, but that didn't happen. And yeah, it's been busy week. I can't say busy. Um, Hard week. Pain galore. And good morning, Manuela. Let me check something. It's slow over here. I need to see if the. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I had to check something. But been dealing with a lot of pain. You know, it's just chronic pain stuff. That's what we deal with. And I can't sit here to record. Good morning, April and Jessica. How are y'all doing? Oh, Craig, thank you so. Oh my goodness, dude. Tie dye, Christy. Oh, geez, man. And I'm sorry again. Like my pain meds, the one that I know I took because I really needed it, knocked me out really bad. Um, the one I'm taking right now, I have to cut into fours. Otherwise, like if I don't cut them in fours, oh my gosh, they're all over the place. And I know me and Panda wanted to go on Craig's, but his he had a back procedure, right, where they went in and did something like burn the nerves. That makes sense. But he doesn't feel. I guess one of the spots didn't happen. It didn't work, and it is hurting him really bad. And so he couldn't sit to go on there. Hi, Steen. And my I don't know what's going. Like I know what's going on. I mean, our temperatures, we literally go from 95 today or Friday to 70 for Saturday. That's not normal for us. So that's affecting me big time. And it's and then plus I was still recovering from moving all of this around because that was fun. But I was able to figure out a few things that I've been wanting to do. I couldn't sit here to film, like I said, but I could figure out other stuff that I wanted to do. Like, how am I going to pull something off? And I was able to figure a few things out. But hi, everybody. How are y'all doing? Sorry, it's pouring outside. Right now, we're under a flood warning. They're expecting, like I said, yeah, our brains never stop working. And um, like 2 weeks prior, we were all in the 70s and low 80s Fahrenheit. And then the last few days, we were in the high 90s. And then all of a sudden, hey, tomorrow, Saturday, you're going to go in the 70s. And for the next 2 weeks, you're going to be in the 70s with a mess ton of rain. Go figure. And normally we don't pay people to do to mow our lawn. But with his back hurting him so bad, I was like, no, I'm paying somebody. I can't get out there and do it, and he can't get out there and do it. But right now, I have figured out the pattern I'm going to be using for Saggy Granny. And I'm working the prototype up in this Menagerie Pink Flamingo. So, right? Right, Craig? Yes, and like you said a minute ago, our minds just don't stop. My list just keeps growing and growing. I have the big normal list on the door. I got a list here it's all dry erase. And then I got a list inside my recording cubbyhole. And The other thing too is I had to buy my normal recording um, mic went out, so I had to buy a new one. I was like, oh, whatever. I read the reviews of the one I got off Amazon, and the reviews were great. I went to go use it for this past tutorial. I don't like it, so I went out and I spent the money to get the exact same recording mic as I had before that went out. So, and I know how to do all the settings on that one. This one is just, if Michael just don't, well, I just pulled everything out. But this one I don't like one bit. And I mean, it's a nice one, don't get me wrong. It's nice if you're a streamer, but recording tutorials, no, not at all. Yeah, right, April? Hey, Shell. But yeah, I mean, I don't get a lot of sleep as it is anyway, and I know Craig doesn't. One, two, three, four. Yeah. Sorry, I had to make sure my math was going to work because I literally sat here and was like, oh, I want to throw these stitches together, and so that's me doing the math right there. And so had to get it to work. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4, 8. Yeah. Okay. Right. I don't either. And my husband is right on a night shift this weekend, so it's even worse. Oh, girl. Well, see, I've always been a night owl. I prefer sleeping during the day and staying awake at night. Back when Walmarts were open 24 hours, that's when I did my grocery shopping, is at 3 in the morning. I now that and that was before the whole vid thing, and now they don't that we don't have one that's 24 hours here. They open up at 6, so I'm right in there right at 6 in the morning and getting what I need to get and getting out. I don't. Nope. Exactly. And Craig, when the world is asleep and we work better, and that's true. Like, especially for me recording, I don't have a ceiling fan in this room. I don't want one, even though it can get a little, I don't want to say hot in here, but it does get a little warm. But it's fine for me because I'm always cold. And the ceiling fans always just blow down my back and hit sensitive spots that the nerve condition I have that I've developed makes sensitive. And so I don't want a ceiling fan in here. So when Panda's off sleeping is when I can just leave the door open, turn on the recording stuff, and record. That's when I normally record, or when he's at work because it's quiet. One of the two. Yeah, April, and I'm the same way. 2-3 hours of sleep, and I'm good for the day. Hi, Ada. Hi, everybody that came in that I've missed. Yes, Madison, like, our bedroom is on the opposite side of the house. So it doesn't see the sun until the evening. So it's on the, hold on, let me go with the west side of the house. And this side of the house that I'm on right now sees the sun in the morning. So it's a little warm. I mean, we have brick, even though our house is well insulated and we got the, really, really expensive windows. It's still going to warm up a little bit. And I don't mind that though. But when I'm sleeping, I like it pitch black and cold because I can always get warm. You can only throw off so many covers and still be hot, Yes, Ada, my pains keep me awake. And then not only that for me, it's like I don't want to toss and turn and keep Panda up all night, you know, and he's got to go to work. I don't. This is my work. I mean, I look at doing tutorials and stuff for my mental aspect as a job, because I haven't had a job since all this started going hurting me really bad, and all the, you know, having all these knee surgeries. I'd never really had haven't had a job since 2014, somewhere in there. And so sitting at home, I wasn't doing anything anyway, and just crocheting. And then when I started, like, well, let me do YouTube, let me teach what I know. And just, you know, I treat it as a job in an aspect, so that way I feel like I'm accomplishing something, if that makes sense. But you know, I just do what I do. I love doing this. It, like, I preach constantly that this, like, oh my gosh, I just split this poo-poo yarn. It's not crap, but there we go. Is great for your mental health. Hi, Lacey. Shalom, sweetheart. And I couldn't eat, like, that was me too, Lacey. I couldn't sleep at night. I've always been that way. Even when I was in the military, you know, I knew I had to sleep because you had a long day ahead of you, but I didn't sleep much. I just never did, you know. And even when I was in the military, here I am, you know, at 24 years old, me and Panda just sitting in my barracks room crocheting. 2, 3, because it was something, the one that kept, ooh, did I mess up? Kept our hands busy. And it was something back then, you know, we were still getting to know each other, so it was one of those that we got to explore a hobby together. Yes, exactly correct. Better afraid yarn than afraid mental health. And like I say, this, I have said this on your live, I've said it on other people's. Doing YouTube and my husband has saved my life. Plain and simple, it has saved my life. Because, you know, with chronic pain comes mental health, and with mental health can cause a lot of problems. So, you know, pick up a crochet hook or knitting needles, get you some yarn and learn. Oh, Shell, still 7 in the morning. I'm thinking you're like a night audit, right? I had to stop now for almost 2 weeks because of my shoulder. It hurt so bad. It sucks because crocheting helps with my anxiety. Ada, I totally understand. Like, after I did that over a year ago, when I did that big blanket for Bag of Days animal auction, I know I talk about it often, but when I did it for about 2 months, I couldn't move my elbow. It hurt so much because I did it, and I barely had enough in me to do the tutorials. Thankfully, I had a lot banked and already edited and ready to go. I could rest, but now I make it a point every hour, hour and a half to put it down, get up, and go up. If it's not raining or snowing, go outside, because we live on a corner lot. So I'll go outside and then walk to the corner, walk to the alley, and then walk back. Make sure I get up and do something. Put it down. I'm Shell. I am working on a prototype of another shawl. It's in my Granny series. I don't know why I'm calling them Granny series. They're not Granny stitches, but I haven't figured that one out yet for Tunisian. But they're like, I had Grumpy Granny This one is going to be called Saggy Granny because there's going to be parts in it that's going to make it. I don't know if you can kind of see how it's going to be sagging. Uh, so it's called Hey Sweetheart, how are you? It's good to see you. And I keep forgetting your name until I say it at least 10 times, then I'm going to forget your name, Yarn Over Hook. If you can remind me one more time. I think it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to mess it up. I knew it. I knew it. You don't know, like, there's my crochet world. How many months it took me to remember her name? It took me forever. Um, but yes, Saggy Granny, because it's going to have a little bit of a sag in it. It's going to have a lot more when I start building up on it. And I just couldn't think of names. Well, I did the Grumpy Granny, and that was named by a Karen H, which is she's named a few things of mine. And she's like, oh, Grumpy Granny, because I couldn't think of a name. So I was like, oh, that fits. So we stuck with that. And then I was like, well, I was talking with Panda, and he's like, well, make a little shawl series, of whatever Granny. So this is Saggy Granny. And I think it's going to fit. It's going to be a rectangular shawl, and so it's pretty long. I'm doing it long ways, so that way, oh, come on, it sags, because if I did it whatever ways, worked it up vertically, you wouldn't see the sag. It wouldn't be prominent. You know what I mean? So I had to go that way, and I'm like, ooh, this would be perfect. Granny needs a new bra. Oh man, where's that? I don't know where I put it. I don't know. I have something I was working on. Hi, Sandy. Marcelina, hi. Well, and there's going to be, like, Get Off My Lawn Granny. There's going to be Dopey Granny. I got the list. It's on the back of that door over there. Of course. I did finish the prototype, the bee's knees. The bee's knees is a asymmetrical shawl, and it's the prototype. It doesn't have all the stitches I want in it, but I did it because I needed the measurements and how many stitches, rows, etc. Oh, it's right here. I just gotta weave in the ends, but so it's kind of done. But anyway, what I got on that was, hey, Crafty Witch, Andy, sweetheart. Why not you weave in the ends? Next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, I'm having a members live, and I'll be giving that away to the members. I'm not gonna be using it for anything, and it's done in a 2/8. But the reason why I'm doing it was I talked with Rena from Rena Cakes, and was it Rena's Threads and Craft, and she made me a special. I don't want to say special. She recreated one of her cakes that I'm going to be using. Ooh, Michael, that's bright. For the bee's knees. We're going to be using those cakes. So I'm going to start with that one first. It's not going to use all of it, I know. But I'll have 2 cakes so I can be able to work it up twice. And it's going to look fantastic because I'm going to be throwing, like, this one right here, the prototype. The main body is just the smock stitch. Well, on the real one, the smock stitch is going to be in there, but it's going to be a couple rows. And then it's going to be some other stitches that are all, it's going to have the honeycomb, the Tunisian honeycomb, which is going to be the border type thing. It's going to have the Tunisian honeycomb lace. And there's another honeycomb, Tunisian honeycomb stitch that I have never done yet. And we're going to have a little bit of the smock, because I kind of think like, and yes, it will be beginner friendly. I mean, everything I do is, except for Ruby's Dream. Ruby's Dream, I tried to make as beginner friendly as I could, but I still needed to get my point across for that. And, you know, to honor my mom, I tried my best. But it's still going to have the smock. Is this the right way again? Hold on, I got to find out which way I'm holding. There we go. Like, if you can see the smock stitch, right? To me, the smock stitch kind of looks honeycombish, because that's the Tunisian honeycomb stitch up here. That's the smock stitch, which I did the border. And the reason why I did this too was, one, I didn't know Rena would make a special cake for this. I didn't know. So I was playing with what color yellow I really wanted to do it in. Of course, you can see I started with the darker yellow here, which is, what's it called? I got it right down here. And it's Hirschner's Afghan. It's called Marigold. And so I was playing with this one, and then the second color, oh man, I lost the ball band on that one. Well, that one's almost empty. Anyway, let me dig in the bag. Oh my gosh, I had more. Hello? Where are you? Oh, well, there's the ball band. Called Daffodil. And so I was trying to see which ones I liked it in better. And yes, I really did. I was ending up, well, you can see I have all these tails that we've in. As soon as it got off the hook, I put it off to the side for now. No, I work it as I go. You do, each row is done all at once, straight across. And you're doing your increase. Where am I doing my increase? Oh, at the very beginning, because you're just switching colors. Hey, Zach. You're just switching colors. That's all you're doing, and switching the stitch. There's no border after the fact. It's all done at once. And that's what I'm trying to do too, is trying to make it to where a lot of my stuff has built-in borders. There's a really cool Christmas blanket I have coming up. Holiday Jamboree. Let me put this over here on the chair. The chair I went live from last Saturday is right over there with the plaque above it. And then let me set this up because I don't want to mess this up. Because normally a foundation row in Tunisian sucks pulling up anyway. But what made this one even more a pain in the rear end to pull up is 9 stitches is done. You're pulling up as a purl in the foundation row, and then you pull 4 normal. So it's a pain in the butt. So, ooh, joy, girl. Dry erase boards. Grab it, Granny. Thank you. See, that's great having dry erase boards here. Before I show what the colors I'm going to be using for the holiday blanket, I've been messing around. I've been messing around trying to figure short rows, long, 'cause I want to make a capelet. And I know there's a mess ton of tutorials out there, but you know me, I'm not going to watch another person because, well, thank you, Shell. Thank you so much. All right, sweetie. Ooh, Granny Smith. That's another good one. All right, yeah, see, having a dry erase board is great. And then having a magnetic desk is also great for my dry erase pen. Um, Granny's knee cover. Granny's been gay. No. Alright. Night, Craig. I'll text you tomorrow. Or if I'm still awake. I don't know. I probably will be because Panda's got his live. Jen and Granny. He's got his live tomorrow too. Grin and Granny. Yeah. Um, but I want to make a cape black. Plus, I want to make a crescent shawl. And I know there's tutorials out there how to figure out, people that give you all the information you need. All right, Sammy, have a good night, sweetheart. They give you all the information you need, and I'm not that type to watch them. I want to figure it out because the way I look at things, if I figure it out, it helps me explain it a heck of a lot better. No worries, Shell. No worries, sweetheart. Zach, let's see. What does Zach say? Sorry, I have to scroll up. All right, Zach, I know you're probably already gone. Good night. Have a good day at work tomorrow, hopefully. Ooh. Yes, Granny's Goodies is a good one, too. Oh, I'm running out of... There we go. I've been working, like I said, I was trying to figure out how to, I want to do a capelet. There's also a cape, what is it called? Cloak that I want to do. And I want to be able to do, I want to say almost form-fitting shoulders. So what I've been working up, playing around with, and writing a lot down is going to help me figure all that out. And I'm doing it. I don't have many of these cakes, these skeins left, so I'm working it up in these parrotfish that I used for the prototype of Grumpy Granny, which that prototype went to Jill from Fiber Floozy Crafts when she came down here. But I've just been, let's see, that's all my notes. I pinned it to it. Oh, I still got the hook still in here. But you can see what how it's working up, excuse me, and coming out to be. So it's helping me understand quite a bit with, oh, show you the right way. But it's helping me understand quite a bit because when it's come to wearables and stuff, I've really never done, before I started my channel, I've only done a sweater and scarves, of course, and hats, and maybe a shawl or two, and that was all I ever done before I started my channel. And then when I started my channel, I've done a few Granny's cover-ups. Yes, man, y'all got that. Y'all got the good ones. Oh, come on. And sorry, it's caught on my, there we go, light. So what hook do I have in here anyway? Oh, it's a silver. Wasn't sure if it, uh-oh. Oh, no, hold on. Let me, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Thank goodness it's Tunisian and I could just pop right back in and latch everything back up. There we go. Now slide that through. It's been helping me understand a lot. One thing I did get to play around with, I've had in my head, I gotta write that down before I forget. My board. All right, the sweater vest and boho can move up here. There we go. It was what, Granny cover-ups. Michael, make that all one. There we go. The only time you can write on your walls, people, if it's dry erase. There we go. Feels weird writing on my wall too. What do I have down here that I can? Nothing there. Oh, and like I said, I was messing around with stuff, just messing around, and you know, Tunisian. Um, they're down here. Hey, you can sit there. That's a pillow that I have for something else. All right, is that all? Everything? Yes. So I need, before I lose this, because Michael has a tendency to just throw stuff away without paper without looking. I really do. So that's why I clip everything. Been messing around. Keeps my mind busy. That's that. Messing around, keeping my mind busy. Again, messing around, keeping my mind busy. And I had, is that the right way? Or did it twist? There we go. So, you know, little garland or overlay stuff that you could add, motifs that you can add. This circle actually helped me plan for a bigger blanket. That's going to be, actually, what did I do with that piece that I was messing around with? I know I laid it down. That's not it. No. Oh, I don't know where I laid it though. That's, I keep all that when I'm messing around with stuff. I keep it because I want to, and I write down what I do. And I have a mess ton of my own keep stitching stuff. That's grid paper, because grid paper is so great to figure things out with, especially in Tunisian. Another thing I was messing around with is I've been wanting to do an iPad tablet cover, because I wanted to make some makes that I'm calling one-day makes. They don't take long. If they're easy, I can't say. See, I'm trying not to say simple and easy, because I know a lot of people. Andy, that a lot of people, I might find it easy just because, you know, I do advanced Tunisian. So I'm tried to ever quit saying simple and easy, but it is a one-day pattern that uses, well, it's majority of a basic Tunisian simple stitch. But I've been wanting to make an iPad cover because, like I said, or tablet cover, because it is a one-day make. It's a quick tutorial for me to make. And you know, I'm trying not to say easy. I'm trying not to say all that, because I know Tunisian's not easy to everybody. But this is just a prototype. I made it, and then I stitched it 2 different ways to see how I want to stitch it whenever the tutorial gets done. But it is an iPad cover. It's going to have a little flappy-doo where you'll link it over, have a button there. But, you know, and I made it a full flat piece and then sewed it. And I sewed it 2 different ways so I could see how I wanted to sew it when it comes to the tutorial. So, and this is just sped done. I did it fast without really kind of paying attention, which amazed me, that me not paying much of attention to it. I started out with 72 chains and I ended with 72. I don't know how I kept the same, not thinking, but you know, it's done in, this is cotton, because I have this whole thing of Premier cotton. So I'm gonna be using it. And then when I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, lay these out better. Yeah, Coley, I really could lay these out a little bit better because, like I said, this was speed just so I could get the idea out of my head and see what changes I need to make. But I want to lay these out better for the tutorial, and then I want to use this with a different color for the flowers, and I want to make one of those like those hats. They're almost bucket hats, almost, but what they wore in the 1920s. I thought that would look really cute with these flowers, the V stitch, and flowers on it. I thought that would look pretty cute. Oh, I love that one, Joy, too. Joy over here on Simplistic. Okay. And then, there's going to be an over the shoulder purse with the, or something, with that similar same design. It's going to be like a set you can make. And then I know there was a bag. I don't know when I mentioned it, but kind of playing off the gaming vibes, the bag of holding. And the other night, my mind was going all over the place because that's really when one of my flare up was at its worst. Like when my flare ups happen on the left leg, I know when they're going to happen because the left leg has been the first one with the syndrome and with CRPS, and I know how the different flare ups start. I like that one too, Joy. Goodness, girl. And so I'm used to I can pinpoint when it's going to happen, and I can get ahead of it with my pain controller. Um, is it still turned on? Well, I know it's on because I'm not in as much pain as I normally would be. Because before I went live, I turned it up just so it's not distracting me much. Oh my goodness, Madison, that's a hard one. Madison Ray says, I have a dilemma. Need advice. A woman who can't sit still and is full of anxiety, but she wants me to teach her how to make doilies. What do I do? Oh my gosh. You could do it standing up. It's about I like my anxiety. I didn't know I had anxiety until I started doing YouTube. Oh, she's never crocheted either. Oh, sweet darling. Oh my goodness. We all need to pray for Madison Ray for that. Eh, wow. um, but like my pain controller, I'm sure y'all have seen it. Like right now, it's on the intermittent thing. I raised it up to 39 because before I started my live, I was in pain, yes, but my crocheting was distracting me enough. Plus, I was also watching. What was that? What am I watching on Netflix? Heartstopper. Is this Heartstopper? Yeah, It's a BBC gay drama, teens coming of age thing called Heartstopper. It's pretty cute. Um, and yes, exactly. Madison Ray, what we're at Black said, start with something simpler than a doily, because that doily is going to, yeah, I think that'll throw her anxiety into overdrive, if that makes sense. Because now to me, crochet doilies, the thread you're using is already nerve wracking as it is. to, you're teaching pretty much, the way I look at doilies is most doilies, in my honest opinion, are intermediate to advanced. And if they have very little crochet experience, it's going to be a nightmare. But what I was saying was, in my phone log, this is just the controller phone. It's not, doesn't have anything. Yes, but she knows better than anyone. Oh yeah, exactly, those people. Um, but before I went live, I raised it up, and like my, turn this down. Oh, I see. I have an iPhone 6, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, or 20. I don't know. It's one of the newer ones. But the app is only up to the iPhone SE. So they gave me an iPhone just for it. And that's not, I don't know what you're doing here, but you can go away. But if you see the blue on the person's legs, that's what my spinal cord stimulator controls. I have tingles, which means that it stays on all the time, and then there's the other one called intermittent. It comes on for 30 seconds and then off for a minute and a half. The other leg isn't highlighted here, but it does work on the other leg. She couldn't get it to just change the color on there, but it does work on both legs. But what I was saying was, with my right leg, because that's a development as of this year that it spread to my right leg. So when the flare-ups start for my right leg, I don't know if it's a flare-up or is it just hurt, if it's a pain, because we get all types of pains with CRPS. You can get the electrical, you can get it feel like your whole legs in boiling water, you can get the the pins, pokes, all that stuff. Joy, I actually think the implanted spinal cord stimulator, it helps me, I want to say about 90% of the time. I have a high pain threshold anyway, but it takes it and drops it down just a little bit more to make it that much more bearable for me, which is a positive. That's why normally unless you get 50% or more pain relief, they won't implant it, because it's got to be a significant it's got to be a significant decrease in pain. But because I have such a high pain tolerance, and all the medications that they've tried on me does not work. The gabapentin, all the nerve medication they would give you for it, just does not work for me. The only pain medication that works for me is an opioid, but the opioids, we got the problem with that. The VA doesn't give them, but they're uppers to me. They make me hyper and don't sleep. And I like it. It's helped a lot. But like I said, I don't, with this right leg, when it starts to flare, I don't know, like I said, is it a flare up or is it going to be just a normal pain? And when I say normal, it's granted, pain's not normal, but is it just a part of my nerves just saying we're going to rebel today, or is it the flare up saying, aha, we got you today? Well, I'm starting to get to understanding this right leg. It'll start out as, I make it feel like I broke my big toe and the next two toes over, and then it starts creeping up my foot, and it makes it feel like I broke the whole foot. And that's what I've been dealing with on this leg. Well, all of a sudden, the left leg too is like, hey, we're going to go ahead and rebel too today. So we're going to make it feel like your whole leg from the knee down is in boiling water. So that's what I've been dealing with for the week. Thank you, Joy. But, it's one of those, that's why I get very Uh, I have to not, I can't focus to do, it's not that I can't focus to do a tutorial. I need something that's going to keep my attention. Tutorials don't really keep my attention when I'm filming them. So I need something that's going to be complicated. I need something that is going to keep me thinking. And so I have these little whips going. So when days like that happen, then I can bust out those whips. Don't know where I laid it. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. I'm working up one of the Michi cakes right now. I'm not sure I want to stick with this pattern. See, yeah, Madison Ray, I like mine. It's really helpful. There's times it is an annoyance, but a new flare-up pain that I've started getting in my left leg too was it starts to feel like my, because I leave my normally setting on low because I don't want my body to get used to it. You know, I want it to still work, so I don't want it to, I don't want my body to get used to it. So I can deal with a significant amount of pain. Like I said, I've been sucking it up for 20 plus years, all the military, all that stuff. So, and I just, you know, so whenever I keep it low. But a new pain, which is a new development I told my pain doc about, was it feels like it's about to be a cramp in my mid thigh in the back, but then all of a sudden then it changes into it feels like somebody's just reached in, grabbed the raw nerve, and is pulling it out. Like the first day it happened, me and Panda thought it was a cramp because I get massive bad cramps that he has to help me into a hot shower to help relax it. But I haven't had one of those in ages. And so one morning it started happening. I thought it was going to be a cramp, so I used our Googles and broadcast in the house, "Hey, I need you, come help me." And he started trying to touch it, and it felt like fire. So I knew it wasn't a cramp, and it made me cry. And I don't cry in pain a lot of times. You know, whenever I cry in pain, that's when you know it is bad. And I started crying, and he ran in here, grabbed my pain controller because he knows the code to get into it, and he's like, grabbed it, and then he started upping it, and it was on the intermittent, so it wasn't going to wait. So he's like, you know what? So he put it on the burst or whatever the constant one is, and started raising it up. And like literally, as soon as he found the sweet spot, it was like, that's a new pain. Yes, hugs for everybody. Well, Madison, I got shorts on under these. I'll show you what's caused my CRPS. See all those 9 knee surgeries here, full metal knee on both legs. That's what's caused mine. Do I still have it here? Let me see. Let me go to my Facebook. Go to me. I want to go to me. Go to photos. Wait, yeah, that's the right person. Yeah, see? That's what both of my knees look like. But that's all the years in the military, too. That's messed them up to go to that point. I'm sure I had it before. I had my knee surgeries because of all the wear and tear and for the military, from like, even though I was in the Navy. Do I have a picture of that? I am not sure. I don't remember. Let me go to my photos. I don't think I do, because they were all back then film, and of course we didn't have digital. That's boot camp. That ain't gonna say nothing. Now I was a Navy corpsman, which is a medic, in the Navy, and no, I don't. And I was stationed with Marines though, so I had to go learn more combat medicine. And if the Marines decided they want to go on a 7 mile hike, I had to go with them on that 7 mile hike. If the Marines decided, hey, we're going to put on all this gear and we're going to go for a run, well, I had to put on all that gear and go for a run. I was in the Navy for 12 years. And so that really tore up my knees bad. Well, thank you, Joy, for being here, and welcome. You know, I love teaching Tunisian. You found a Tunisian lover big time here. But you have a good day, and thank you for being here, sweetheart. I love meeting new people. Like, that's why I love doing these late night lives. One, I'm wide awake. Two, you know, you get to meet different people and from all over the world. Like, it's not my prime time here in the US, but it's prime time somewhere else. And have a great day, sweetheart. And I just love it, you know. I love doing them at our prime time too, don't get me wrong. But I also like giving, you know, Europe, my European followers, giving them chances to chat with me, you know, because most of the time, 99% of the time, you know, my chats always turn into Q&As. You know, and that's fine. That's great. That's what I want. You know, I'm not a live channel. I'm a tutorial channel. Who happens to do lives? Because I love talking with you guys. You guys are just phenomenal. Yeah, it's 3:24 here, but I'm gonna be up all day. I have to change my sleeping schedule anyway. I have a phone cardiology appointment Monday. At 11 in the morning. Normally I'd be asleep. And then Tuesday I've got to mail out a few things. I was supposed to mail out this week, but my legs were just telling me no. So Tuesday I've got to mail out a blanket to somebody who won it at Michi's Live, and then the prototype to Ruby's Dream. It's got to get mailed out to Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor, in North Carolina. My brother-in-law lives in North Carolina. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune. The worst place I've ever been stationed? No, that's the second worst place I was ever stationed at. Worst place was Groton, Connecticut. The only thing that redeemed Groton, Connecticut is that's where I met Panda at 24 plus years ago. And if you're new to my channel, Panda's my husband. But I didn't really care for North Carolina. It wasn't the state. It was the command. If that makes it, they're not fun to be there. It wasn't fun. I mean, granted, the military's not supposed to be fun, but they made it miserable on purpose. And the same thing about Connecticut. Dina, was he okay? Andy, you have a. I came and talk. You have a great night and sleep well, sweetheart. Were y'all at Groton? Because that's where I was stationed at. And granted, yeah, the only thing we were stationed, I got stationed there on my. I don't remember. I know the day. I don't remember what. Let's see. Doing some quick. On my 24th birthday, literally, is when I checked into that command, August 18th of 2001, and at the Naval Hospital there, or well, now it's Naval Clinic, at Groton, Connecticut. And of course, we all know what happened on September 11th. And then I want to say around the beginning of October is when I of 2001 is when I met Panda, and then I was a smoker, and we went out to the smoke deck, and that's when we were just talking. That's how we met, and yeah, now 20 going on. Well, November is 25 years together. We just had our on the 8th. Was it the 8th? Yeah, it was the 8th. We just had our 10-year wedding anniversary. It wasn't a big deal. It was. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Like we call it our legal paper day, because that as soon as it went, we were able to get married. We got married because it was just going to protect both of us, asset wise, and so we were the first couple in our county to get married. And they're like, "You want to go on the paper?" Oh, no, 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 no. We're just doing this for. We know we love each other. We know we're going to be together, but we're doing this for asset protection for each other. Because up until then, if we bought a house together, like we did, if one of us, you know, passes away, the other one's family can actually come in and fight the will, and family usually wins. So it would screw the other person over. So we just wanted protection. We know neither one of our families would do that, but you never know when money is talked about. You just never, that brings out the worst in people. Thank you, Denise. Now we're talking. I know I got carried away. When Michael gets to, oh, that's awesome, Madison. That is awesome. Really is. Wow. You know, I was talking about Holiday Jamboree, and then I got sidetracked. Yes, Lacey, that happened when my grandmother passed away too. It was bad. Um, because when I start talking about crochet and what I have planned coming up and whatnot, I get super excited. I can't contain it. But Holiday Jamboree. Uh, I use these as whip buckets. They're the little ones you put in the cubies. They're great for whip, little whip buckets. I still got to finish Seaside Breeze, which now Seaside Breeze. That's something else. That's what did I name it? Oh, I'll call it the Summer Breeze. That'll be out sometime, probably next year though. The Seaside Beach cover up. I just gotta finish a few details on it, film it, and then edit and get it out. I just, like I said, because of these pains, I haven't been able to sit here to film. But now there's Holiday Jamboree. It's a blanket that is for Christmas, and it's gonna have a built-in border. I like doing my blankets with built-in borders, and of course it is adjustable. I haven't figured out. I've already mapped it out because it is going to be. I don't want to say complicated, but it's going to be a time-consuming blanket. Um, but it'd be so worth it. But I'm doing a built-in border. A built-in border will be. Oh my gosh, how'd that happen? Um, and I have quite a bit of this. This is Big Twist mustard, almost a gold. I think it fits. And then the three colors for this blanket, and of course, you can choose any color you want, are these three. This is Cherry Mix, Big Twist. This is Lime Jello, Big Twist. And this is Christmas Cookie Marl, all Big Twist. Of course, I have a mess ton of Big Twist, so all my blankets, 90% are going to be or whatever I come out with, it's gonna be a big twist. But I think these three colors, Rotten Got Grotten, yes. Oh, he was in Submarines. Oh, yeah. These three will be, well, these four really will be Holiday Jamboree. It's just gonna be a very slow blanket. And he was a subby. Oh my goodness. I was at the clinic there. That's where I met. I was in the operating room, and Panda was in primary care. Um, there's also another blanket that I have that I want to do. There's so many blankets, of course. Um, it's a Tunisian spiral blanket, and as much as I'm going to give away is just the name. The name of the blanket, I'll give it. It'll give it all away. But it's called the Yellow Brick Road. I've already got it designed. I just don't know if I'm gonna have if I have enough of the color that I want to do the road aspect of it. Uh, I'm still debating on that one. And then this is Dragon Tail Shawl. There's quite a bit. I'm just gonna be keeping myself busy. You know, we're in the Texas Panhandle, and we're at 70 degrees tomorrow for our high, or Saturday for our high, and for the next 2 weeks. This is not supposed to happen. We're supposed to be baking in summer. You know, not cold. But I'm gonna give y'all, since it's a little bit of a, I have yarn totes over here, but we're gonna take a little look at the way I have everything set up now. So I'm just gonna unplug, and we're going to go looky-loo. Oh, get my butt up. So that's the chair that I did my lives in, and it's kind of, and that's the Illusions whip, my Illusions blanket whip. That is just extra totes. See, there's totes there. But there's that little area. And then we come over here to where I sit. It's a hot mess right now. And that's where I film. And then that's what was behind me. So y'all got a little tour. Not much. And of course, that's yarn up there too. I've got yarn stuffed everywhere. But that's everything. So, and I'm in right in front of a window. Um, but yeah. Choop. So you got a little quick tour. The gray canvas totes is yarns that I want to use for projects that I want to use them for projects. I just don't know what projects I want to use them for. So instead of putting them into a tote, I thought that if I sitting here looking at them, then I will think of something. Oh, I didn't see. Yeah, sorry, we're turning around, and that's all that yarn. And see, these right there are the only Hirschners up here. The rest, except for that's glow in the dark. Of course, y'all know that's bitty stripes. But everything else is all big twist. And I can't go out in the garage to show y'all the big twist out there. And the cards that are next to my plaque is all the cards that I have received from you guys. You know, so I took all my swatches down. I accidentally ruined them, so I'm not gonna redo them. I want to put all the cards that I receive from you guys up there. You know, I've kept even some that are over a year old that have gone up there. I just think, you know, that's a one way that constantly reminds me that I have support. You have you guys, and it's a constant reminder. And sometimes I need that. Sometimes we creators need that because, you know, if I didn't go live and I was just doing tutorials, I wouldn't know. Just, you know, people watching it, thumbing it up, and leaving comments doesn't really tell us. It tells us you're watching, yes, but you know, sitting here with you guys, tells us a lot more, and it means a lot more to us. That's when Craig was talking about going live every other Friday. I told him that's perfect for him, because sometimes we just, I don't want to say it that we need it, but we do. Especially as tutorial channels like me, him, Bod, you know, Mikey. Sometimes we need that pat on the back, just because we start doubting ourselves a lot. Are we doing what we should be doing? Are people watching us? We go through a lot, whereas with a live channel, and nothing against a live channel, nothing at all. I wish I could do what I do just as a pure live channel. Then that's less I have to worry about. But I love teaching, and I love that aspect of it, and coming out with the weekly stitch, and then once or twice a month coming out with an item make if I can manage it. But at least the stitches come out, and I like doing these lives because there's times that I just don't. I frankly, it's like I need to pay attention to what I'm working up, then go live. But I want to go live. There's a lot of time I want to go live a lot, but I know it eats into my time of making and creating and filming, because being a tutorial channel, there's a lot to it. We have to edit, we have to record, we have to make the item first. Sometimes we're making it twice. um, there's been plenty of times I haven't made it twice because I'm like, I'm gonna make this up as I go. um, but there's times I have been making things twice because I need counts. I don't know the counts, and if I'm gonna sit there and base chain tell you now you gotta do this for 35 rows when I don't even know yet. So I like to have all that math. You know what I mean? But for us, it's, we got to do all that and then record it and edit, because these makes, when we're recording, can take a long time to do. Hey, Nikki, sweetheart. I know there's some people who have asked me, they've asked Bod, they've asked others, can you do a blanket tutorial from start to finish? Well, for me, in Tunisian crochet, a throw blanket can take up to 3 weeks, and that's 12-hour days for me, 12 plus hour days. That's a lot of footage. And nobody's going to sit there, and I'm not going to put out a 20, that would be 100 plus hours video. Nobody's going to sit there and watch it. And I'm not going to put a 100 plus hour video out. So I like to do what Bod does. She's helped me on that aspect of show the stitch repeat for your blanket. Show the stitch repeat and do it. Do the stitch repeat. And that's what I do with mine. I call them blanket swatches. And also, if you ever watch my blankets or my makes, if you fold it in half, they mirror each other. And I do that on purpose. I do that for my left-handed folks. So that way, when the left-handed person starts making the item, it looks exactly the same way as if a right-handed person makes it. And there's only one thing I've ever put letters in, and that was my holiday banner. And that I will never do. I can't say never, but it's hard to do things for when it comes to letters and stuff like that for left-handed people. So I try to minimize as much as I use on those. But there is another blanket I'm gonna have coming up soon, I hope. It's more of a back-to-school blanket that I think is cute. Yeah, and it's gonna come with, it has a pillow. I'm trying to think what else. I think that was the two there. And then I will have a bat scarf, but that is not going to matter for left-handed people at all. because there's no letters in it, or numbers. Um, and I think most of my holiday stuff, yeah, I don't have anything with letters and numbers in it, so it'll be fine for left-handed people. That's the thing. I try to cater as much as I can to left-handed people, because I've sit there and I have tried to crochet with my left hand and watched a right-handed tutorial to teach me. Mm-mm, no. So I understand to a point of what they're going through. So I try to make it as easy as I can, even though I am a righty, and all I'm doing is flipping it. But I think flipping it gives them the best idea that I can give them. Excuse me. Well, thank you, Madison Ray. And of course, I've got, there's a bat scarf. I've already have it designed. I was intending to put it out last year. I didn't get around to it. This year it's going to come out. I have Dee's Creative Hands is dyeing me some orange yarn, cotton yarn, and that'll be used for something else for Halloween. That is it's a cool concept of with that cotton yarn that she's dyeing for me that I want to make. It is a trick-or-treat bag, but it's not going to be one of those that, it's going to be snatch proof. So some kid running down the street can't just snatch it from somebody, from a kid, and it's going to have glow in the dark yarn in it as well, in spots. And then I'm trying to get the design to work in the round so we can also do a beanie, but I'm having issues with it, which are also in glow in the dark yarn. And then when it comes to the Christmas stuff, that's where I'm going to be loading up this year, is the holiday stuff, and that is going to load up for the year. Oh my gosh, I got so much planned. And then we're already talking about a really cool concept, a crochet along for next year, a 52-week crochet along. Is it? Give me a second. Okay, yeah, 52-week crochet along for next year. The blanket, and it is a blanket, and the reason why it's going to be 52 weeks, it's not going to be anything complicated, for sure. The blanket's name is called the Busybody, and we're just going to have fun with it. And we're going to go with what I'm calling, well, it's the 5 basic stitches, plus we're going to add stitches too. We're going to have 52 different stitches, and it's going to be a stitch sampler, a true stitch sampler. A lot of these stitch samplers have maybe, 12 max, and they are back and forth or square samplers that you have to sew together. Well, this is going to be, we're going to have fun. It's going to be cool shapes. You're going to crochet these these stitches in, and then we're going to stitch them together a certain way that's going to make it just freaking cool. And it's a great, it's a great scrap buster. Like, oh my gosh, the scrap busting is gonna help you get rid of your scrap busts big time. And I just think the concept of it, the way, like, some of these are just, they're gonna be, there may be one that's just a square, one of them may be a rectangle, one of them may be in the shape of an L, a triangle, and we're gonna stitch them together. I just think it'd look really cool. It's a true stitch sampler, and have fun. And just have fun with it. That's what this, even though it's called the Busybody, it's a blanket to have fun with. You get to have fun with your colors, because it could be, like Madison, like those Good Morning Tap Mama, sweetheart. Like you see in the cartoons, where you see the homeless person in the the train, the blanket that they have is all just a patchwork, and it's got those big definitive like stitches where they stitched like a square, an L, all these different shapes, and to make a blanket. That's what I'm going for. That would be cool too, React Black. I gotta write that down. I need a good piece. I need a piece of paper that I know I'm not gonna throw away. Actually, you know what? Aha, screenshot. Because that is a really cool idea. Oh, I need to go there. Let me. Hello. Do what I want you to do. Do edit and save it as a. There we go. And JPEG it. And you go there. No, you're not going in there. You're going on my desktop. There we go. That is a really cool idea. I do like that too. Rat Black. That, but I like the blanket. It just have fun with it, and you know you crochet all these different set dimensions, and it could be an L, it could be, you know, a small square, a big square, a rectangle, a triangle. It could even be, you know, an obtuse. Just have we'll just have fun, and then at the end, and we stitch them together. But the way we'll end up stitching it, like it's a zigzag stitch, so to make it look like it was just big sewn pieces. A scrap blanket is what, you know, what it'll look like, and I think that would look really cool. Have fun. You know, I haven't seen one done like that. That, you know, one is that many swatch or different types of stitches in it, swatches or whatever they want to call it, stitch samplers, and but just have fun. You know, I see a lot of these crochet alongs, and yeah, they're really cool and all, but sometimes they can get look like, okay, that's a little too busy. You know, or they'll do busy pack, something easy, busy, something easy, and it's like, y'all, that's too busy for me. Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying there, Red Black. I totally understand that. Hey, Ricky, sweetheart. Um, and then of course there's a couple of crochet alongs. There's one that I want to do. Okay, I'm gonna give something away, but I need to make sure I don't give a lot away. There's something I'm working on. Oh my gosh, where is it? There it is. Um, I'm still fiddling with it. I gotta take a picture of it first because I can't show the rest of it yet. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show it off yet, but let's look. This is something that it's going to be. I'm going to turn it into a mini crochet along, but that's in paint right now. That's just a picture of it, but you'll crochet these, and then we'll crochet these. I'm still messing around with the design, and then we'll crochet these edges. That's 1, 2, 3. That's already 3 tutorials, and then the 4th tutorial will be we stitch it all together. I'm still playing with the design. I'm still tweaking. I'm still messing with it, but that's an idea that I have, and you know, I want something to be fun. Yeah, Moroccan tile, exactly, and turn it into like a mini crochet along in a way. Like, all right, we got this. Show how to do the tutorial, and then, all right, you need to do this many of them and block them. Then the next week, okay, well, you see the squares, we need to do this many of these squares and show the tutorial, do all that happy stuff. And then all of these triangles, we need to do this many triangles. And then we just stitch it together. So that's 4 tutorials at least, at minimum, for that. And I think it would look, one, I'm playing. The colors are there for me to see the difference. I'm not colorblind or anything, but I like all over the place colors. It makes it things when I'm glancing at something, I can see it completely. Um, that's the other thing too, is what colors do I want it to be. So there's still a lot, but I want it. That's going to be coming out next year. I'm going to be using. I'm still trying to work on the concept of a true Tunisian kaleidoscope blanket, and I want to use that with the bitty stripes because I have 4 colorways of the bitty, or 5 colorways, one of the two. I have 4 or 5 colorways of the bitty stripes, and I want to put those in it, but I'm trying to figure out right, Nikki, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pull it off. That's easy. Plus, I didn't do nothing this year for Pride, and there's reasons. There's reasons I didn't. There's people who've done creators who have done things for Pride, and they've gotten a lot of backlash. Not not just verbally by comments, but they have lost subscribers. Well, I didn't want to face that this year. I had too much going on. I just hit the 100K. I didn't want to jeopardize any of that, if that makes sense to you guys. So I didn't do nothing. And I know I kicked myself in the rear end for not doing anything, but I wanted to protect what I have built. So next year, I am doing something massive for Pride. It is a Tunisian in the round blanket. However, it's going to be a blanket with meaning. If you're in the States, and if you know what happened, hold on. During Pride Month in 2016 in Florida, the blanket is called Pulse. I've already got it designed. That was what I was trying to hide there, because I just used one big old grid for all that stuff. And I really do think it's going to be my best blanket to date when I get it done. So June of next year is going to be a busy month for, well, me putting content out, because I'll have my next dementia awareness, which, by the way, we raised a total of $510 for the Dementia Society of America. So as soon as the YouTube money comes in I think 2 more weeks, then I'll be moving that over, and we'll be doing the donation and filming that. So that'll be going, and that and all that became from buying you guys buying the pattern and the super chats that I got, as well as some cash donations for it. So that's, I think, for my first true fundraiser, that was pretty darn good. Thank you for that. But next year I've got the next year's dementia pattern and that blanket. The dementia pattern, I really haven't thought about it yet, but the pulse blanket, I already know it's Tunisian in the round, which is a big square, but there's going to be a lot of meaning in there, a lot of symbolism in it, and it's going to be perfect. But anyway, thank you all for being here for the past 75 minutes, keeping me company and just chatting. I love you guys so much. Y'all just don't know it. I mean, like I say, you guys are the backbone of this community, and you guys make us. You can make us or you can break us, and you guys made me for sure. You know, I would not hit that 120K mark. I wouldn't have hit the 100K or 50. Heck, I wouldn't have passed 2,000. You guys make us, and I don't I really don't know what the tutorial is for Monday yet. I normally don't, because lace stitches have been really taking off. In my lace stitches, I wouldn't, on my spreadsheet, a content plan for stitches, wasn't supposed to be doing till next year. So I don't know what I'm doing Monday for the tutorial yet. Oh yeah, see, I forget. Love is the word to drop your link. If you want we'll stay on for another 5 minutes. If you want to drop your link so anybody can find you, drop it. Type the word love, and it'll drop your link. I forget about Nightbot, and I'm sorry about that. I love, and if you want to talk about another creator, let's talk about them. We got time. It's not like I've got anywhere really to go. No worries, Nickies. No worries. You know, like, I don't mind we talk about other creators. I really don't. You know, we keep it positive. We just talk about, you want to talk about what Tiffany Hanson's got going on over there? Hey, let's talk about it. Because a lot of these channels have a lot of good stuff going on. Like, I really do love what, like, Creative Grandma, Glenda, I love when she sits there and does the swatches in these new yarns, or even swatches in older yarns that you just never thought about doing a stitch in, and you know, you get to see what it would look like. I really do love that. And I know, like, Hooked by Robin, she's always busy. No, Nikki, we did, excuse me, we're in the Texas Panhandle, smack dab in the middle, and all that flooding happened down by Austin, which is about 350 to 400 miles away from us. However, we're flooding probably outside right now. Not bad. We actually have a lot of drainage here. No worries, Ricky. Oh, yeah, we're up at Amarillo. Um, Let me see. It's still raining because we're supposed to get a lot. They're saying we're supposed to have about 10 inches of rain in the next 7 days. Let's check my cameras. Go to the backyard because I can't see nothing in the front yard. I can't see nothing in the backyard. Is it raining? Oh, my volume's down. Huh? Yeah, it's still raining. No, they don't. We're supposed to be getting a lot. I know Nessa, she was getting a lot there in North Carolina by her house too. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing, sweetie? Yes, that. See, I crochet like all the time up here, all the time. I'm laying in bed. What am I doing? Crocheting. I don't. And the only way I can get my mind off crochet is I go to Reddit and I just surf around on Reddit. I stay away from the crochet subreddits. You know, I look at the sci-fi stuff, the astronomy, the history. There's one called Artifact, or I can't say that. It starts with a P, four-letter word, ends in an N, but it's called Artifact, and it's discoveries, you know, of ancient stuff, and I like looking at that. I'm a history nerd and a sci-fi nerd. Hi, Barbara. Yeah, but you change that C to a P. It's called Artifact that, and I love it though. You know, it shows literally like, oh my gosh, um, you know, like these ancient statues, and I can't show that. That's for sure. Even though it is uh, like that, you know, that's a mantle from 1133 AD, and it's just, you know, I like that stuff. I like that. I like history. So I'm always looking when I'm trying to go to sleep, I'll look at Reddit at that stuff, and I'll that gets me off my so I quit crocheting in my head, and then I can fall asleep. Yeah, I like it. And then of course there's the sci-fi, the Star Trek, and there's the Stargate ones I look at and everything. Oh wow. See, I'd love Ricky. I would love to visit like I love ancient history. My gosh, ancient history in me, I love it. U.S. history. That's to me. There's nothing wrong with U.S. history. We all have history. It's just too new for me. I like medieval and below. Give me the medieval, the Dark Ages, prehistory. I love that history. Oh yeah, wow, Lacey. I can only imagine, Ricky. Like, I would just love to go to these ancient sites and just feel the vibe. Feel, yes, Sandy, exactly, and feel the just like picture yourself in that time period, what they would have seen, because you can get a kind of a visual representation of what the walls look like. Castles weren't all dreary like people think. They were brightly colored on the inside. They had stucco or what egg washed. They were painted. If they weren't these dreary drab places that people think. And knowing all that, you can kind of visually see that stuff and just get the sense of what they walked through back then. It's just, mm, I love it. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get back to work on this. I need to check on the doggo to see if she needs to go out, which she probably won't because it's raining. And if she does, she'll back her rear end off the patio and tinkle, and then she's done. But I want to thank you all for being here, keeping me company, keeping each other company. And until, uh, see, the 19th, I have a members only live, and I don't know. Well, I know I'll be in Panda's live chatting tomorrow. Probably August 2nd, I may go live on a Saturday evening. Depends on how I feel with my legs. But thank you all for being here. You all have a great day, great night, whatever it is in your time zone. I love you all, and I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night, y'all. Bye. And thank you again for being here.